bar, she'll be able to break free, literally, and run away because she's just that fast whenever she activates her first skill as well. So right now that they took that out of the picture, the remaining gold laners, actually, if we were to think of it, might just be the carry. Okay, so right now they're definitely, or they're finally going to pick it up.
So yeah, the damage there. You know what? Minana's been trying to see if they can take care of the box here by removing the Xborg. But you know what? The damage from the carry can really rip into either one of these heroes, the Minotaur or this Barat. So they're still in trouble.
They just have to be very selective now. Instead of it being the Xborg, which will hurt overall, especially since we know that Nats is so good at placing himself, they have to now be careful of that super late game spike. So now maybe RSG is sending the message, hey, if you take this past the 15-minute mark, we're just as dangerous.
Yep. Actually, to think about it, if you think about it, there's also the CC available if they might, but they won't get the CC. It's a Thanos for Kirk this time. So if we're talking about engage, then they just really want to go for the all-out engages and team fights. And I feel like the early game right now for Minana, it's going to be very action-packed. It's kind of scary if you think about it, because they have all these resources in Thamos, the Lilia, and even the Minotaur. So what could the... Oh, the Grok.
It's got dive written all over it. The answer from RSG, an instant bit of CC. Dear Lord, that's 3 big CCs. I mean, 2.5, because you're waiting for the Fred. You're waiting for the Fred, but look at that, the Grok and the Arlott.
Very explosive lineup. You need that wall. You need that wall to stop that 5-man rampaging lineup going in your face. So that Grok is actually pretty good, I would say.
So they have a lot of ways to also disrupt the positioning that Minana Evos wants to pull off in this fight. But what we're really looking out for in this match, as we started in a few, is like how are they exactly going to play around these heroes? Because it's up against RSG, and you make one mistake in the early game, they're going to take that early game away from you.
And it's not like RSG has no punish, right? It's clear that, yes, their damage is scaling, but we've seen them do amazing things with a lineup like this. So now going into game number 2, it's match point for the Kingslayers. Folks at home watching, do you believe it's truly checkmate with this Grok pickup and the hard dive that Minana Evos have committed themselves to? Are we even seeing game 3? Who you got, RSGPH or MNNE? Both junglers just wailing away at their first buffs, and it's a counter start.
Yeah, press 1 for Minana and press 2 for RSG on the comment section.
Just type it out.
That.
Or just
type it out. Exactly. It's so interesting because right now, obviously, Minana's going back to doming on a Harif. So I think they really practiced something on the on the break here.
They really want to do something with this Harith in the hands of doming, but the early to Wanderer as well and the rotations, instead they're coming in from Minana. I'd expect that RSG with the Grok in their hands would be able to like clear waves faster and rotate faster together with the Novaria, but we're not seeing that situation. It seems like Spider Miles, he's just staying beside Light whenever he goes somewhere in this map.
All right. Looking at just the potential macro, right? Look at how easy RSG is crossing into Minana Evos' territory, into the jungle, even before the turtle spawns. I'm worried about Kirk. This is one of the few times that Kirk actually has no CC.
Very rare time, and we'll also see Lancey, who does not have the black shoes yet. Just dodging out of there, and of course making sure that Aqua doesn't hit him with that Star Shatter.
Okay, so somehow, even if Minana Evos was able to take the early rotations here, it didn't really benefit them.
Super risky right now for Minana. Oh boy! You saw it coming. We all saw it coming. First blood for RSG.
Already a man down, Minana Evos. This is going to be a difficult turtle take for them as RSG make a beeline.
Hazen being poked here, and even Lancey.
Oh no!
He will be taken out. And that's 2 consecutive casualties here for Minana.
Yeah, valiant effort right now here. Obviously, Light is going to have to use
Oh!
The wild
Whoa.
charge to get out, but then again, the hits from Aqua are really making a dent here on the HP bars of Minana.
It's a matter of inches. Now Nats deep in.
That's very deep, very
Whoa.
confident here with a final slash as well. They have to make it out of there, uses a flicker just to make sure he doesn't die. And this is basically RSG capitalizing on Minana's lack of early game damage.
Wow. Almost attempted the purple steal too, but Lazzy says no.
No.
No, they.
That's a sound effect, right? No.
That was me.
Oh, that. Oh.
That was you?
Oh, that was
I
Brady.
thought that was in-game. Oh my goodness.
Alex, look at the items.
Oh my. But I also thought it was in game. But right now we're seeing a slightly different, or actually it's not that different. They're RSG right now. They're really being aggressive as well, focusing on getting those early damages here. We've seen several Fury hammers as well, and you definitely would want to control or actually hold on to this lead that you already have if you were this team. But knowing RSG, they definitely will be able to pull that off. I mean, look at them now. They're being extra careful as well. They're not overextending anymore when they know that they have to resume and farm for a bit. I feel like we will be expecting them to show up later on once we are anticipating the next turtle. But before that,
Oh boy, this top lane is becoming such a huge focus here for RSG with one more kill. And basically
Whoa.
RSG taking down Kirk with ease. Kaizen can only watch basically and everyone's screaming in the arena. I don't know why.
All right.
But
It's because it's Nats entertainment. It's Nats time.
oh, we're back to that
He's
era.
going Nats.
Right.
He scored 3 of the major categories from game 1. And now he's here. He's feeling himself.
actually,
Everyone's very excited to see Nats back at it again.
so we recall how RSG is in a completely different form whenever Nats is activated or whenever he gets to perform the way he's been performing, especially during their prime. So right now, we're seeing them once again. They might just take on or really control this turtle pit.
Here we go. Watch the wall. Check light. He's able to turn things around just like this. Turtle at a fifth of its health. Astral Echo.
And there you go, a flicker in straight into a wild charge, but it will still be a Minana turtle. And the follow-up team fight actually is favoring Minana quite heavily.
Whoa.
Aqua not really hitting the damage that you need. Demon Kite gonna fall here, but Kirk as well gonna be the answer by RSG.
Those were some beautifully timed knockups coming in from Spider Miles, canceling even the Appraiser's Wrath and a lot of supposed crowd control skills coming in from RSG. So that was clearly a moment for Minana to actually take control of the game and eventually secure the turtle for themselves.
Not just, I guess, even Kaizen. The fact that he held on with just that little bit of health, holding out and saying, you know what, we're committed to taking the turtle. Let's even the odds here. Make sure that the boat don't come in, feel disappointed. We might even lose a 2-0. If anything, it's a close game. We might even see game 3 here now, given how Minana was fighting back.
Nothing too crazy right now, but of course that's a lot of resources, ultimates being used by RSG to see if they can take down Doming. So this might be an opportunity for Minana to clap back here with Spider Miles having the Minoan Fury ready.
Right now, they know that there's no wild charge anymore in the hands of Light, but it seems like they won't be looking for the fights. In the meantime, there's a level gap already existing between these two XP leaders. There's so much action which happened in the top lane, but right now it might just be the time for us to focus a bit on the bottom lane. It seems like the gold in the hands of Kusei is slowly actually piling up, so he might just be a huge threat if lit this way afterwards.
I'd give him maybe 3 more minutes going into Lord territory. Once we're in Lord territory and it's the same story and Kusei isn't even given any bit of pressure, then Minana Evos is in trouble. But as it is, they've closed the gap, down about 200 gold, and it looks like they're actually jockeying for position for this next turtle, 10 seconds away. This is actually looking 50-50.
Yeah, I think Minana Evos is feeling confident because they found a way to deal with Aqua. You know, the way that you deal with the Navaria, just play straight close to the face.
Yeah.
The Navaria can't really do that much with that range.
That's at range. Even Light, they know how to stop Light. They're
True
able
though.
to threaten a big knockup and then close the gap. Oh wait, huge Astral Echo.
Wow.
No secrets here.
We're not going to bring that up, but look at this. It's also a huge final slash, and he catches Nats on the way out. And the knockups are beautiful. Look at the beautiful box that Minana have created here. And the damage is real, but Kirk's still not going to be able to sustain that long, though.
They're short on range though, Rockhard. They're short on range.
The range is a problem.
They couldn't finish off Demon Kite or Light. And just like that, gives enough time for RSG to actually reset and maybe give Minana something to think about. Down bottom, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh man, that's a Purify. I think used the. Was it? No, it wasn't.
He just dashed right
Just
out.
dashed right out. Yeah.
He's on flicker.
I was thinking he was on flicker. Wait,
he's
bro.
on flicker.
He's on flicker. Exactly.
What? Oh.
Doming.
Nasty. That's confidence.
That's Daredevil moves right there.
Oh, but there? Okay.
Okay, so this one is going to be a free turtle.
Yep.
RSG and Minana, they reached a gentleman's agreement there.
Yeah,
But
surprisingly.
what's the fight going to look like here?
Yes. Actually, if we look at or recall what just happened earlier, that could have been a very beautiful place for Minana to pull off that fight, and it was in a very narrow, what do you call this?
Corridor, yeah.
Corridor.
Yeah.
So the knock-up coming in from the Minoan Fury was felt by almost everyone, but we have to acknowledge, I think, the sustain or the tankiness that some or certain members here or the frontliners of RSG already have. They really didn't fall down during that instance, and at the same time, we just slowly felt how they were able to also manage to give Kusei and the rest of the members here enough space to free hit and to damage the members of Minana all the while those were happening. So even the wild charge here was timed pretty well from Light to target just Kirk. So even though he was using the Vengeance at that time, they were able to already dish out the necessary damage taken down. But Minana, they're looking to get the objectives, the turrets this time, and the RSG. Okay, that was a Daytona's welcome that did not connect.
All right, Minana knows they have a really strong kill box, and they're not afraid to use it. But look at this, RSG, they're playing around it. They're trying to pick it off part by part, seeing if they can separate the biggest components and make it easy for them, make the fight easier for them.
And this separation, it's making things harder for Minana Evos because at every turn, at every point, we just saw there maybe a minute ago, they tried to push down bottom, but RSG denied it. So there's nothing to trade for in that top lane tier 1, and that's making it harder for Minana Evos to actually fight for these major objectives. Lord spawning in about 20, and even again, same story as minute 1. RSG's crossing the river a little too comfortably for Minana Evos' taste. And that's going to be hard for Doming to have to catch up. It's not very often that you find those moments where they're stuck in little corridors like that.
That's true.
RSG won't allow that, not so quickly, not so easily.
Yeah, and even for the frontliners here of Minana who actually want to slightly show themselves to RSG, they will immediately get poked here, and they are starting to feel how they won't be hesitating or be thinking twice whenever they see someone who they can target. But right now, it's Light currently hiding, will be scouted here by KZen, but RSG, they're also all together and ready, but the reset will happen once again.
Look at the long lane management here. RSG are constantly checking in on that. And yes, they're allowing Minana Evos to now take some space up, but Demon Kite is always taking that top flank. So it's allowing for them to actually still control not just vision, not just space, but even how hard or how deep you're going into committing.
Yeah, super crucial what that we saw there as well. We saw Doming use the flicker.
That's huge.
Because of the roam. Because of the conceal.
Whoa!
And there you go, the flicker that we're seeing. The wild charge is insane from Light. But he might have to pay for it with his life, though.
Oh
And
my!
that's
Fight's
too
still
expensive.
ongoing. And look at that. Nats actually used up quite a lot to get behind enemy lines. And Kirk, he's starting to get tankier compared to earlier.
It's expensive, but it's worth it. A roamer for a gold laner.
Very worth.
He read into it. And dear Lord. Speaking of, literally, they're going for the Lord here. Took a while, 11 minutes in, but now it's just down to a fifth of its health. KZen looking for the steal.
Nats is being so pesky right now here. While Minana are trying to get into retribution range, and now the fight might actually favor them instead.
All right, they're pushing back. They're
Yeah.
falling back. RSG, take the Lord, suffer a trade, and walk away with it. I think they're happy with it, but they lose some on the way. They
Yeah.
lose a turret, and they lose Kusei.
That engage taking out Doming of the picture was something that Minana definitely did not expect at the time. The Respo,
Oh.
it came a bit too late. And the Astral Meteor, imagine, Aqua was that close to their target to be able to just use the Astral Meteor to take him out, not even the Star Shatter. He was just really facing Doming at that moment. And like, I think that was a really great sacrifice coming in from him. And even though Minana, we see them actually occasionally trying to take some trades or punishing some members or really extending themselves in the team fights, such as we've seen Lancy do towards Aqua and Kusei. they don't really get to convert it in the same way that RSG is consistently doing. We are seeing the outer turret slowly being taken down here by RSG.
Oh!
There you go. The engagement that they needed is actually happening right before their eyes. The box is being activated as we speak, and Minana are able to defend, at least for the meantime.
And they're able to go 1 for 1, 2 for 1 now. Kirk's fallen, and with that, RSG are happy with what they got. They took a tier 2 up top, and Minana Evos are left reeling. It's not an easy go. Minana Evos still in this. 3K ahead for RSG, and they're going for more.
They seem to be able to take more here with Kosei and a big tank minion up on mid. So that's another T2 going down for Minana.
That's all of them now.
Oh no.
That's all of them now. Lord coming in about a minute and a half, and just like that, Minana Evos have to consider. Good thing that they have great wave clear. They have, again, mid-range wave clear, but their solid front line allows for them to do that relatively safely.
Yeah, and the difference is that we're seeing how RSG, they're able to really calculate to who they're using their skills up against. The engages coming in from Nats, they're very beautifully executed, but right now, Lancey, speaking of,
Whoa, watch out, watch out, watch out!
He's not playing
Oh.
around here. Forces Light to use that wild charge.
that is why you feel, or we feel, how confident Lancey is whenever he gets his hands on the Lilia, because he's able to perform that way. He's actually able to bring so much impact that you don't often notice whenever there's a very messy team fight that's happening, because he's literally just looking for the targets and using all his glooms on those targets, all the while probably RSG is focused on taking down either Kirk or avoiding the setups coming in from Spider Miles.
All right, you're getting me confused now. I don't know what I like now better. Lancey on a Lilia, which is like a close range to mid-range mage, or Lancey on a Novaria, which is a long-range mage, because he's proven himself. Again, at the most clutch of times, 30 minutes, 35 minutes in, he rarely misses his recalls, rarely misses his echoes. So now, with this Luminous Lord spawning, it's RSG first to the scene. Final slash!
Oh.
It's the conceal activated here for RSG, so they won't have that available, but they will be able to take out Kaizen, which is huge here for RSG. They could take it. It's a 4v5, so Minana have to be careful. They still have that box.
They're forcing
Kirk is
it.
actually quite tanky still, but they don't have the retribution, and they know it. RSG knows it. They're forcing Minana back.
Kingslayer score, a Lord here, 2 in a row. Luminous gonna be marching up top. This is huge. Minana Evos, I don't know why they stayed maybe a second too longer. Maybe they were thinking, hey, Doming is here. We have a big Minoan Fury. We can force something.
Yeah, try to bait it.
But
yeah.
RSG spacing themselves out, and RSG throw out a huge Astral Echo, which allows them to confirm, hey, they're not in a position to do so.
Yeah, and they also kind of lost the, I think, the aggression that they could have used, since there was no more ultimate here for Lancey. He was immediately forced to use the black shoes, and right now that they're managing the lanes pretty well, RSG, they're definitely looking to take down these inhibitor turrets. Minana Evos, if we were to look at their lineup, they have this capability of actually going for the counter engage or turning around the fights, so long as they might just want to go for the engage first, because if Nats once again finds the perfect opportunity, such as a while ago, that might not be the same situation.
Oh, that's he used up the final slash there, trying to see if he can bait out someone to use a flicker, and that will be on cooldown for the next few seconds. Now the push is happening here on bottom side. They clear those minions.
They take care of that Lord, but they do lose inhibitor. Take a chunk out of top, little bit off of bottom, mid rather that is, and then a little bit of bottom. So far, I'd say the Harith in Doming's hands is still a threat. He just has to find the right time to do so. But what's troubling me is the macro picture. All of Minana Evos' damage, or at least the solid core type of damage, is magic.
Yep. That is why they feel that is a huge problem. But
Oh,
speaking
no.
of problem,
Yeah, big problems brewing here with Lancey quite low, and the final slash being used to force Kirk out of the base. He uses everything but the kitchen sink to just try to stay alive. And that looks like Minana is just gonna have to wait again for the
Yeah.
next minion waves. That's all the gold they're getting.
yeah, you can also feel how RSG is actually being very patient or respectful of the capabilities of Minana to actually turn things around. Again, they still know that Spider Miles can pull off that Flicker Minoan Fury surprise attack whenever they
Still there.
try to commit or extend too long, and there is a Lord that's coming in 50 seconds, so they can't afford to lose a member now that we've reached the 16-minute mark. And again, RSG, they typically end their games within 15 minutes.
And that's important because RSG are all playing with flickers. None of them have any panic buttons. None of them have like a purify. None of them. Aqua's the closest thing we've got with the astral recall, like the way that he's able to move
around,
out
yeah.
and phase out, right? That's why he's the one allowed to do this. Look at this, how close he is.
Yeah, he can do stuff like that and still make a good escape because he can go through walls.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep, and again, RSG are playing with that range. They're playing with, or against Minana Evos' solid box with range and vision. And which is why I'm curious, in the draft, Minana Evos, they decided to draft this heavily, this aggressively. Oh, dive, oh, coming in.
Well, speaking of aggressively, they go straight for Kaizen, who procced it. Activated the Winter Truncheon very early on to make sure he doesn't go down again. But look at the follow-up wild charge here from Light. It is huge. It take out the two main tanks of Minana, and the chase is on.
Oh, they committed the Zaman Force. They committed the Detonus Welcome. Canceled it at the last minute, and RSG punished them hard. 2 for none. Plus an evolved Lord all the way. RSG, big dub.
You would typically think that it was the moment for the disengage. There was a lore that will be picked up right after, but Light thought that no, since you did not commit the Minoan Fury, and we all thought that you would, which caused us to go for, or to actually move back a bit, then we will go for the engage this time. And that really eventually turned into the 2 kills that was able to force or cause RSG to confidently take this Lord, this 18-minute Lord that's currently in their hands.
Just when you thought he was safe with the Winter Truncheon,
Yeah.
Light just makes such a huge move. It's impressive.
Could have been the perfect turnaround, the perfect bait play,
Yeah.
but there was a little bit of a little bit of hesitation that caused Minana Evos to be on the receiving end of this huge siege. RSG already inside their base. The Kingslayers want to come in, the Raiders. All the waves coming through top, mid, and bottom. And they're going to take care of the Lord, though.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, a successful defense by Minana.
Their box is still pretty good, but it's starting to become softer and softer the more items Aqua accumulates. That's a big problem here with this one.
Yeah, but also another thing that we might probably want to pay attention to is how this is slowly turning into Minana's timers as well. Like, this is the mid to late game where we've seen Minana perform and actually make those very game-changing decisions whenever we reach this point of the game. So now that even if we're seeing them in this very difficult situation with no inhibitor turrets left, and I think just one inhibitor turret taken down from RSG, this might just slowly turn into a time where Minana, they will be able to pull off those surprise decisions that even I might not expect them to do.
It is almost Hukbo hour, as they say. About 15 seconds away from the 20-minute mark. Looking at HH. Looking at RSG PH's items, again, every single one of them has some form of magic defense, except for Aqua.
It's
because
huge.
again, he can walk away. He can just step away with it with the Astral Recall. So with that said, again, Minana Evos have to very carefully place and cater their damage out to RSG.
Yep.
And that's difficult. That's so much easier said than done.
Yeah, I think the one who's most prepared to take out the damage is Rimon Kai, but wait!
Oh, let's
Yeah,
see.
they actually absorbed so much damage. Lancey used up everything, but the kid just to get back into the game here. But Kosei looks like he's really scary. Kaizen can't sustain against that long against carry.
Okay, so good news and bad news. Minana Evos, no one died. They
one
were
died.
able to
That's
walk
good.
away with it.
Yeah.
Bad news is it doesn't help their situation. The rest of the waves are still crashing into their base. It's not like they can make it any closer to this Lord spawning in the upper quarter of the map here. RSG still 7k ahead.
Yeah.
But every minute that passes, again, by hook or by crook, I can't give any logical reasoning to this. There's no science to it. Minana Evos just gets better and better into the late game.
I can start to feel how the pressure is slowly getting higher. Whenever there's a clash, if you're here in the venue, the drums just start to play right when there's a clash. So you can start to feel all the more pressure. But right now, there's the Lord that's spawned here on the top lane, and this might just be a very crucial Lord for both of these teams.
Here we go. RSG, Nana E, they're saying let's dance. Demon Kite pushing Kaizen away. Lord here at a fourth of its fifth. And they go in!
Yeah, everyone's on vision right now because of the Astral Echo, and Kaizen is going to be up to it. He dies right away again. He's the first to fall, followed by Spider Miles. The last three members of Minana are trying to stay alive, but it's becoming harder and harder to do that as time goes on.
Oh.
Doming's in the back line, activates the Zaman Force, going for someone to take down, and he takes out Kosei.
Oh no! He's gonna lose his immortality. Not enough shields! Aqua takes him down!
He loses it. It's all up to Kirk now. And what's it gonna be?
The mid lane.
The mid lane's walking. They don't need the Lord. That just definitely will be it.
22 minutes in, RSGPH
Whoa.
get a win. A sweep against Minana Evos.
What a way to end that game. A 2-0 sweep. That's 3 points for RSG. They definitely wanted this. And I think their performance speaks volumes of how badly they really wanted to get this win.
That was very insane. And the way that, you know what, RSG is just knowing what to do time and time again. And I think they did realize their win condition, right? They don't have escape buttons. They have flickers to engage, and they use it to its full potential.
Luckily, they were, 5K, 6K, consistently all throughout, mid, late, and then crossing the 20-minute mark. I have to be honest with you, folks. I actually thought Minana Evos almost got something. They were building up to it, but the logic and the fundamentals of the game just did not allow for it. It was so hard for them to actually place anything on the RSG. That was a clear threat. So here we see the Kingslayers, RSGPH crossing over to Minana Evos' camp, giving their fist bumps, sportsmanship and respect across both franchises. And again, as a fan of Minana Evos, right, as a member of the Okbo, you gotta be